I'm having a charging issue on my 2000 Dodge Cummins. The other day coming home from work, it was dark and I had the lights on and my blower on full blast. And about halfway home, it dinged and said check gauges, and my voltmeter went plumb down past 8 like it was. I got home and the next day I started it and did some testing on it, and it will charge 13 volts about, but when you run everything, all the accessories, it can't keep up. I've load tested both batteries and they both passed, and I did a test on my alternator on the field sensing wires, the blue and green. With the engine running, they both seem to be working from the PCM. It's calling for it, and the alternator's not giving it enough. I'll show you that here in a minute. I'll show you how I test the blue and green wire coming off the alternator. But I'll show you what it's doing here. That's about 12 volts. Wait, the start light come on. Okay. We'll turn on the blower. Full blast. And then we'll turn on the headlights. And it should be going closer to 14 volts, and it's giving me about 13 on the meter. So I ordered a alternator off of Amazon. It was a cheap one, and I'm gonna put it on here and test it and see if the new one fixes the problem. Stay tuned. Okay, I got my truck shut off, and this here, a cheap load tester, is showing right at 12 volts. And I have load tested them with them unhooked, both individually, and they both passed the load test. I'm going to start it and turn on all my lights and blower fan and everything and show you what it's doing now. And that cycling, I was told when these motors don't get up to temp, the grid heaters will still cycle on and off. So that drop in voltage there is when the grid heater cycles on for a moment and then it picks it back up. But alternator still, it should be giving me closer to 14 volts. And it didn't give me much over 12. And I've cleaned all my connections too, and it's still doing it. So back of this alternator here, you have your main charging wire that goes to that side, the driver's side battery, or it does on this truck anyway. And here's the two prong and you got a green and a blue. The green's on this side, the blue's on this side. And there should be nothing with the motor off, but with the motor running, the blue wire should have a battery voltage coming from the PCM, which is right back there. And the green wire, which is the ground, is actually what tells the alternator to kick on and start to charge. And mine is actually working. I've tested them both. On the blue wire, you put your test light or your meter, stick your ground on the negative, and then your hot on the blue, and you should have around 12 volts depending on what your battery voltage is. And do the opposite for the ground. Put your positive on your meter right here, and then put your ground on this, and that should show 12 volts also. So the PCM back there, the voltage regulator is inside of it. So it tells these style alternators when to charge and not to charge. And it seems to be working, but I'm still a good 1 to 2 volts under what my charging voltage should be. I'm barely over 12, and it should be close to 14 and a half probably. So I got, and these ones got the wider pulley. So I'm hoping mine's right. But hang on, I'm gonna start to take this off. I think it's just 2 bolts. One here, and the other one is down there. Then you got just this charging cable right here that goes in the back. So stay tuned. But before I change that, I'm gonna go ahead and show what I was talking about. I got my negative on the negative. Over here's the blue wire. So here I'm showing 12 volts, so that's working. And I'm showing 12 volts, so it's calling for it. So to me, that test, it tells me that my PCM back there, right behind the air box, right, not hard to see, right there, my PCM, to me that is showing that the voltage regulator is actually working. Is it working right? I don't know, but it is calling for the alternator to charge. And when, from what I understand, when it gets up to a voltage over 13 and a half or so, it tells it to kick off so it don't overcharge. That's my understanding of this. But I'm gonna start taking this off, and hopefully it fixes the problem. Stay tuned. I took off the belt with the breaker bar on the tensioner. I took off the belt. Took right there loose and lifted it up out of the way. I'm gonna pull off. I pulled off my air cleaner just to have more access back there. Just to have more access. I'm gonna pull off this connection. It's all corroded. I couldn't get it loosened to clean that one. It felt like it was going to snap on me, so I just left it alone. But I think it's a 10 mil. I'm gonna pull off that one and pull off this bolt right here, right there, and then I'll pull off the alternator. This one down here is slight pain. I had to hold it with the wrench back there and start pulling on it. Okay, I need two hands. Got the old one out. I'm going to put the new one in. Okay, I got it back on. I got the belt on. I hooked up my negatives on both batteries. I forgot to say that, but I hooked them both back up. I went ahead and put it on my load tester, but I'm just going to use it for... with it not running, let me see right here. You can see that. About right at 13 volts. Not with the motor running. So I'm going to start it. Turn on my accessories. Then we'll see how it does. A few seconds for the computer to realize it, but look at that. That cycle on and off is the glow plugs. Or I mean, that's the good heater. it's still going to cycle until it's up to temperature, but it's working now. I'm going to turn on my lights, and then we'll turn on my blower full blast. Blower's on full blast. With them both running, it's still showing right above 14 volts on my gauge. I think it's fixed it. I'll check the load tester. Yeah, I think that fixed it. Well, thanks for watching. I hope this might help somebody else having issues like this.